So you've hit that frustrating point where you're leveling up in your new questing area and you feel like you're running out of quests, and the quests that you're doing are either too difficult or just aren't giving you the XP that you think you should be getting for the time you're putting into them. This can be an extremely frustrating time in New World, and I've seen people talking about grinding out factions or town boards or just running through Amarin a bunch of times, and nobody really seems to be talking about this. This tactic is really simple and, in my opinion, a lot more fun than the other options that I mentioned. MMO veterans, you probably already know to do this, but I've had a bunch of people come into stream and mention that they're stuck, and this seems to always be the issue. Also, if you think I'm missing something in this video, or you have something to add that you think will just make someone's life easier, be sure to drop it in the comments, because I want these videos to be like a forum where people can come to and just learn as much as possible. So if you have any insight, I'm sure myself and anybody else reading will be grateful that you dropped it down there. Okay, so this tactic only really applies if you're above level 25, but what I've noticed a lot of people doing is jumping to the nearest high level area and then leveling out that entire section of levels there. So what I'm talking about is jumping from Everfall to Brightwood and then leveling all the way from 26 to 35 in Brightwood. This is definitely a technique, but what I've noticed is happening with a lot of people is they hit a point where they run out of quests, or the quests just aren't worth completing because they're too difficult or they just take too long. If the quests are too difficult, you can always find someone to level up with and tag team them, but if you're stubborn like me and like to level up solo, then you're gonna end up getting stuck and just banging your head against the wall. If you've hit this point, what you have to do is pretty simple. All you have to do is look on the map, find the area that matches the same level area that you're leveling up in, and then go and level up there. So if you're in Brightwood, just head down to Cutlass and complete some quests down there. I actually didn't even go down to Cutlass until level 42. I hit a point where my options included acquiring 3 large salmon for 690 XP, fighting an elite for 1000 XP, or spending an hour trying to find a group to hop into the Depths expedition while I was underleveled. So I decided, alright, well, this sucks, and then just ran down to Cutlass and started questing there. And let me tell you, it was a pretty good choice. Not only did the Cutlass quest offer similar or more XP, but there's also way more of them. And without even taking that into consideration, just the change of scenery and fighting different mobs made it a lot more fun to level. I wasn't running around to the same locations over and over and over again fighting the blue Gatorade colored ghost for 10 coin. And that alone made a huge difference in the amount of fun that I was having while leveling. I actually managed to get from level 42 to 44 in about 3 hours, and that was while stopping at like every node and harvesting every plant in sight, so you could probably do it a little bit quicker. While I was doing this, there's a few things that I realized that actually made the leveling process much easier and more beneficial. The first is that since I was a pretty high level for the area, that all the enemies were pretty easy, so I can kill them really quickly, and if I just needed to find loot boxes, I usually didn't even have to engage them at all. This made it possible to complete quests really quickly, and also the quest offered quite a bit of gold that I was able to put into the town board quests and higher level areas later. I also realized that since I hadn't leveled up in Cutlass before, that my reputation was at 0 and would level up really quickly, which if you don't know, every time you level up your standing, you get a pretty significant chunk of XP. If you want to get the most benefit out of leveling up in these areas, I recommend prioritizing the yellow quest as they tend to offer more XP. Also, as you're completing these quests and running around, be sure to grab all these notes because they give you a little bit of XP every time you read one, and it adds up really quickly. On top of everything else, if you're feeling bored and just want to try a new weapon or playstyle, this is a really good time to do it. Since you tend to be fighting mobs that are a little bit lower level than you, it doesn't really take a lot to kill them, so you can level up these other weapons quickly and get a feel for the new playstyle. If you're interested in trying a new weapon and don't know them all, you can check out my melee and range guides where I go over all of them. Also, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.